Hello. So here I want to share with you my sixth post, which is also the fifth supporting source that I found. I found this video called "How Plastic is Destroying Our Environments and What to Do About It." So this video is published by Interesting Engineering, an online magazine that focuses on different topics, including science and health. And this video also brings discussion about how plastic litter can negatively impact the world that we live in. And it points out the fact that littering issue, pollution issue, is actually uh, the worldwide issues nowadays. And here's the video.
Plastic problem has created one of the biggest environmental threats to our planet.
Since the beginning of the plastics industry in the early 1950s, the use of this material has exploded.
We call it Plastics Town, USA. The table is set with polyethylene products too.
Around 8.3 billion tons of plastic have been created by humans since then, and of the plastic waste produced between 1950 and 2015, only 9% was recycled. Instead of being recycled, the plastic ends up in landfills, oceans, waterways, and in our food most of the time. It is now estimated that there are 5.25 trillion pieces of plastic debris in the ocean, and that number is increasing by around 13 million metric tons of plastic every year. That's the equivalent of one garbage truck load's worth every minute. Ocean currents cause some of this to collect in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, an accumulation of trash that covers around 1.6 million square kilometers, an area twice the size of Texas or 3 times the size of France. And it gets worse. People worldwide use approximately 500 billion single-use plastic bags per year, about 150 bags a year per person.
Very often they can only be used once. Then they are thrown in the bin or they end up as litter in parks and even in the sea.
Such amounts of plastic waste have a devastating effect on marine life. Plastic waste is estimated to kill 100,000 marine animals and 1 million seabirds a year. But that's not the worst of it. Plastic waste can take decades or centuries to fully decompose, but it more quickly breaks down into microplastics. These are tiny pieces of plastic less than 5 millimeters in length, according to the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. These microplastics are now found in every part of the food chain, from salt to drinking water. Governments have finally begun taking action against plastic waste.
Canada is moving ahead with a plan to reduce plastic waste.
From now on, pharmacies like this one will no longer be able to hand out these small single-use plastic bags to clients.
Rwanda seems to be determined to lead the way to a world without plastic bags.
One country in Latin America has set a goal to eliminate all single-use plastics by the year 2020.
In January 2020, China, one of the world's biggest users of plastic, banned the use of non-biodegradable bags in major cities by the end of 2020 and in all cities by 2022. The country also forbade the restaurant industry from using single-use straws by the end of 2020. This is because China has a huge garbage problem. Its largest rubbish dump filled up 25 years ahead of schedule. Meanwhile, in March 2019, the European Parliament voted to ban single-use plastic cutlery, cotton buds, straws, and stirrers.
Plastic straws, stirrers, and cotton buds could be banned in England.
The ban is set to come into effect by 2021 in all European Union member states. In addition, the legislation states that plastic bottles should be made of 25% recycled content by 2025, and 90% of them should be recycled by 2029. Canada also announced it would ban single-use plastics by 2021.
Early as 2021, Canada will ban harmful single-use plastics from coast
to coast to coast.
This came after it was revealed that the country recycles only 10% of its plastic. In the meantime, several African nations, such as Tanzania, have implemented strict plastic bag bans, and Africa is leading the way in banning single-use plastic. Tanzania has also extended its ban to tourists. If you are visiting the country, any plastic bags you have will be confiscated at the airport. In addition to bans, there are also efforts underway to clean up the plastic debris from our oceans. One such effort is called the Ocean Cleanup. This is a non-governmental organization based in the Netherlands that is working to develop ways of removing plastic pollution from the oceans. The Ocean Cleanup claims to be running the largest ocean cleanup in history and aims to remove 90% of ocean plastic pollution. That is a very lofty goal, and it could make a true difference if achieved. 6 months ago, the organization announced that its latest ocean prototype system, called System 001/B, had started to collect plastic debris from the ocean. The system uses the natural forces of the ocean to passively catch and concentrate plastic. The organization is also working on a newer system called System 002. According to the Ocean Cleanup, it will be a full-scale cleanup system that is able to both endure and retain the collected plastic for long periods of time. This is some much-needed good news in a sea of rubbish. With the bans expanding around the world and efforts to clean up the oceans well underway, we begin to see some improvement on our plastic problem. But this will only really be solved once we have stopped using some types of plastics altogether. Will we be able to reverse the damage caused by plastic waste? Only time can tell.
All right. So the reason why I want to share this as my supporting source is that I really want to focus on a specific type of litter and explain in more details how we can deal with it. So plastic is considered the main material of empty bottles, beverage containers, and waste food bags. So these things, as we know from the previous post that I made, are the major litter in most areas, right? So through this video, I hope we get to know more about the consequences of having plastic litter in our environment. So there are many serious consequences in this video that we can see. Like having plastic in our environment, there are many, like such as the death of ocean organism, right? Yeah, the death of ocean organism, and also the pollution of water and land resources. So one thing to be aware of is that plastic litter takes more than decades to dissolve. So yes, we are facing a serious situation. And in my first video, I took pieces of evidence from the Oxford community, showing what litter we have in this community, and it is obvious that plastic litter is common to see in many areas of the community. So they are even in the river. So this is an empty beverage container thrown on the ground randomly. And this is a wasted earphone, right? Headphone or earphone. So it's also made by plastic. And we have like wasted bags. Yeah, so these things are all made by plastic, and we get to see how plastic litter becomes one of the major litters in our life. And so therefore my social media campaign project will end in this final post. And I think by providing this relevant outside sources and combining the information I had from the video I made, it's not difficult to tell that the world we live in is facing the challenge of litter and pollution. So to create a better living condition for all species on this planet, we have to appeal to more attention to this serious topic and try to appeal more activities in reality that helps creating a better situation. So that's all. Thank you.